have our model here. So this is the model that's going to back up our collection view data. So every time we add in a new media object, this is what the media object will hold at minimum. It's going to have like an image data or some sort of video URL. Caption is optional. There's a lot of optional values here because the video is not going to have all those, or it could have one or not have the other. But at minimum requirement, we'll have an ID and we'll have a created date. Great. So this is the model. Let's now go over to our MediaFeed view controller and start working on the UI image picker controller. Again, to look at our lesson here, our objectives, capture video using UI image picker controller. So let's aim to get to this one by this particular lesson here. All right, so in our MediaFeed view controller, let's scroll up and let us add in a lazy property to manage our image picker. So we'll start out by creating a lazy var here. We'll call it image picker controller. It's of type UI image picker controller. It's a lazy var, so it returns this closure here. And here we'll call picker controller equal to UI image picker controller. We'll return.
Someone mute themselves, you're playing music.
Oops.
Thank
My
you.
bad.
No worries. So we have our picker controller here. It returns a picker controller. Let's go picker controller dot delegate. Set the delegate on the picker controller. Set the delegate on the picker controller. We need to conform to that delegate. Other things we need to do here. My picker controller, since it's doing video, we need our app to do video as well. We want to get access to the media types. And the media types we have is image or video. By default, back in unit 3, 4, when we use image picker, we use the default media type, which was an image. But here we also want to get access to the video as well. So what we'll do, we'll say UI image picker controller. What do you have available? Everything you have available, give it to us, right? So here UI image picker controller for what available, we'll say saved photo library or photo library. And here we'll get back a media types. That media types we get back, it's an array of strings. On that array of strings, we'll say picker view, set your media types. Again, it expects an array of strings. I'll say media types equal to media types. It's an optional. I'll use string coalescent to say if it's not available, give it a default value of just images, right? Let me get the images. 1 second. I always forget the actual name of this. The default value for this is this one. Okay, simply just type this in. So lowercase k, UTT type image. Again, most likely will not get here, but if it doesn't have the array of media types, it will default to just showing images or just giving the user access to images. Again, K dates back to Objective-C. Lowercase k would be a constant. Like that's how the constants would be in Objective-C. U is the type here, type image. Okay, but we should expect two types, type image and type video as well. So that's what we have. So that's new, we haven't seen that yet. And again, media types, what media types do I have access to? Query, see what available types the device has. If the library, see what available types the library has. If it has videos, if it has photos, give me that. And now I could say my image picker has access to both those types in my photo library, for example. All right, cool. So this is that for setting that up. One thing we have left to do is to conform to, if we click on this arrow, we need to conform to UI navigation controller delegate. And we need to configure, we need to conform to UI image picker controller delegate. So we need to conform to both those delegates. Again, UI image, UI navigation controller, because when we present that image controller, it has a navigation controller in it. So it needs to conform to the delegate to know when it was canceled and stuff like that. Great. So let's go ahead and go to the bottom. Let's go to the bottom of our view controller. Extension on media feed controller. We're conforming to UI image picker controller delegate. And what else? What's the other one?
Was it navigation controller delegate?
Yeah, UI navigation controller delegate. Thank you, Mr. Greg. And we'll implement did finish picking options. This is what we're after. So this method here, this protocol method here, image picker controller, did finish media with options. Again, it gets called every time the user selects either a video, in our case, or an image, which we've seen before. We've seen images before again, but we just haven't seen videos yet. All right. One of the, what are we after? So we have a dictionary here. The dictionary is called info dictionary, right? That dictionary has many keys in there, many key value pairs. We have seen, what's the key we used before? Info key, that what? Anybody remember? To get to that image, what key did?
Original image?
Original image, very good. So we used original image before, right? So in that particular key here, if we option click on info key, let's see how much stuff it gives us. Option click on it, perfect. That gives us a lot of data. So option click, or command click rather, command click on info key, jump to definition. And here it gives us the types in that dictionary here. So we have info media type, right? What type of media did the user select? Was it a video or was it an image, right? Other things we have original image, which we've used before. We've used.
When you finish with this?
I'm sorry?
When you finish with this, can you scroll back up to the picker?
No, let's go up to the picker view and come back. This guy?
Happy birthday.
Maxwell move. Media types, picker controller. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, so back here, option click on info key just to take a look at what the API has. And what we're interested in is media type. Media type, again, that's what we're interested in, to see what type of media the user selected. And later we'll use original image, and we'll also use this media URL here, right? The media URL is the URL to the video the user selected, okay? So those are the keys we're interested in this particular app here. And there's many more keys here. There's image URL and all that stuff there. There's a lot. But what we're interested in is media URL for the video, original image for the image, and media type to know what type was selected. So let's go back. And first, let us write a switch statement here. Actually, not a switch statement. Let's do a guard because it's optional. So guard we'll say media type. And on the info dictionary, we'll access UI image picker controller dot info key dot media type. And media type is of type string. So we'll cast it to a string here. And we'll just simply return. We're not going to crash the app if we don't get it. Simply return here. And for now, we'll just print what the media type is. So for here, we'll say media type. We'll just print out what media type is. So media type, and string interpolate what the media type is here. So either it's going to be public.video, or it's going to be public.image. So those are the two types we're expecting. When the user selects something, they come down here, and those are one of the types. Build, else, build. So this is the did finish launching with options. Our first test, can we select a photo, right? And can we get this print correctly here? can we select the video? Can we get that print correctly here? Those are the two things we after. Okay. So far, so good. Everybody?
Yes.
Okay, cool. What's up, Antonio? Are you trolling us?
No.
Says the troller. I'm not able to see too many faces. I have to turn off the video panel. Okay. Are we good? Is everybody up to speed here?
Yeah.
I have a question,
Yep.
Alex.
Yes.
So when we're returning the media type, what are we going to be using it for?
We could use it to update whatever UI we want because the video and the image, they could be different.
So are they going to be handled differently in terms of how they're?
Yeah, they could be handled differently based on what they are.
Okay.
Right? Because the video, with the video, we don't have an image, we have a URL.
I see. Okay.
And with the image, we have just an original image.
Got it.
So we'll use like a switch statement later.
Fair.
So your original image, we said media type, right? What else we using today? What was the other one? Pop quiz. We looked at the API. We said we're interested in original image. That's for the photo. We said media type. We said this is public video, public image.
Media URL.
URL.
Media URL. Very good. Okay, cool. So those are the keys we after. So we'll just say info dictionary keys. Okay, cool. So what else we need to do? This is enough. We could actually run the app and test it out. Actually, we have no logic for this. We always try to jump ahead, right? Because there's so much in an app. Like there's no connection between that. Nothing's gonna happen because we have our app here. We click on something. That's not wired up yet. So we need to write that out. And also, this should not show up. Like the simulator has no video. This should not show up. Everybody agree?
Yeah.
All right, so we have a bunch of stuff to fix. So back up in our top controller here somewhere, we could probably set it up right here, which is probably fine. Let's do it here. So we'll say if UI image picker, if UI image picker controller dot available types, no, source available. If source available is not camera. So we'll put a not in front of this. So negate it. So make it falsy. So if this is false, what do we want to do? If there's no camera, what do we want to do?
Disable the button.
Disable the button. So video button, video button, video. I cannot do that here, can I? Video button, lazy var, self dot video button. And it's, I don't know self there, right? Dot is enabled equal to false. So if there's no camera available on the device, we want to disable the video button. Because bad things will happen really quickly. If there's no camera, I click on this, my app will crash, saying source not available. We don't want that to happen. So we will disable the button if it's not available. Let's run it and test it. That didn't work. Is enable equals false.
Shouldn't we be hiding it too?
Just disable is fine. I think it might be too early to do it here. Let's take that code out of here and put it in the view did load because our outlet is not on screen yet. Let's try that. Okay, that's better because in the lazy var here, the outlet is not ready yet, so this doesn't work here. So in my view did load, that's why I put it. I could probably take this out too and just have configure UI. That's okay, that's fine. So make sure your video disabled on your simulator. If you're running on a device, I really encourage you, if you have a device, try running it on both. Try running it on the simulator if you can, only if you can, because your computer might fry really quickly. But if you can, just validate that it does work on a device, this should be enabled. On a simulator, it should be disabled. Okay, everybody with me? Everybody with me?
Yep.
All right. I really need feedback here because I can't see the video right now. So.
Sorry, Alex. You just moved that to the view did load, right?
Yeah, I just moved it to the view did load because in the lazy file, it wasn't happening in time.
Thank you.
Uh-huh. All right. Okay, cool. So next up, the only thing we have available to us right now on the simulator is the photo library. So when the user clicks on the photo library, we want to go to the photo library. And the test should be we have access to both videos and images. Because before when we did image picker, we only had access to images, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. So thank you. So now video button pressed, we're not gonna do that yet, but we will do it. When the user clicks on the photo library button pressed, we want to do a couple things here. We want to say image controller.source type equal to access the entire photo library and go ahead and present this image picker controller and completion, no completion. So here, access the entire photo library of the user, which includes videos and everything else. So now we should be able to test this. So run the app, click on the photo library icon here, the button. And the photo library should come up. You should also see videos here, right? Again, we were able to drag videos in because the simulator, there's no video, there's no camera there. So we added some videos that we put in here. Everybody has videos?
Yeah.
Okay, so if I select a video, I'll just select a video. What's the shortest video here? I have 4 seconds. So click this. That takes us to choosing it or playing it. I could play it here, right? And see that's what I want. I could pause it. I could choose. It compresses it. And now in our console, we should see media type public.video or that movie. So we need to change this. So right here, we should see this print statement. Was everybody able to see that print statement? Feedback.
Not yet.
No, what do we have to do to see the print statement?
Okay, in the did finish picking with options, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have your guard statement, checking for the media type here.
Yeah, but what was the action we had to do? Did I have to select it or something?
Yeah, just select it, yeah. So when you say choose, when you click on choose, it should print out in the debugger.
Let's see.
Did it print out for you?
It says compressing video.
Yeah, after that, it's gonna show it. When it's finished compressing.
All right, yeah, I got it.
Awesome.
All right.
So we have one thing to update. This is not public. This is just public movie. I always forget the 2 of them there or mix them. So it's public.movie, which we got here. And now let's actually do a second test for the image. So cancel. Actually, we need to do one more thing. What else am I missing here? What logic am I missing?
Selected image.
Selected image is one thing, but when the user clicks on something, what do we want this view to have? What do we want to happen to that view?
Dismiss.
Dismiss. Very good. So here we'll say image picker controller or image, what's it called there? Picker. We'll say picker dot dismiss. True. And this. Again, take a look at how Apple writes the API. It's very similar to how we write our delegate methods here. They give you access to the actual object you're listening to. So now you do anything with that picker, okay? So now if we run it again, and we click on our photo library, that comes up. We go to videos, that comes up. We click on a video. We say choose the video, compresses the video for adding, for converting that video and getting the URL and everything it needs to do. And at that point, it dismisses the view. And now we have media movie. We all have that? And we're all able to dismiss?
Yeah.
All right, now let's verify images as well. So click on it again. go to a photo. You could select any photo you want. And now it should say public image, right? So our 2 data points works, right? So we could get access to movie, we could get access to image. Anybody stop me if you were not able to get those happening?
Alex, can you scroll up, please, to photo library button pressed for a
Photo
second?
library button pressed. Photo library, right here. So we have the image picker controller. We change the source type to library. And we presented it. And then we said, that's it. So we presented the image picker. You have those?
Yes,
Julia?
yes, I do. Yes,
Okay.
thank
Does
you.
it work now?
Trying.
What can I
Alex, what did you do to have public image press type?
Public image press. So I have a print statement. I
Uh-huh.
have a print statement after our guard.
Yeah. But like, what did you?
Oh,
do?
just choose. So select an image or select a video. In our case, just select like a photo, right? And then it should print.
Oh, okay.
I don't see video.
You don't see
Nothing
video.
happens.
You don't have videos? You have videos, right?
No, I don't.
You don't have videos. In your library, you don't have videos?
So when I press bar button video, nothing happens. I don't have access to
One
that.
second. This should be grayed out, right? Are you using a device or a simulator?
Simulator.
Simulator. So this should be disabled, correct?
So like for me right now, the picture itself disabled and cameras are enabled.
Okay, so when you click on this one, you're able to click on it, correct?
No.
You're not able to. You're not able to click on it.
No.
Is it connected in your storyboard?
I think so.
So put a breakpoint on it. Like put a breakpoint inside of the function, and try to click on it. Does it hit the breakpoint?
1 second.
Breakpoint here, click on the button. If it doesn't hit the breakpoint, that means you're not connected from storyboard to this view controller.
No, it doesn't hit. Okay, I will check that connection.
Okay.
Thank you.
You are welcome.
Also, Alex, my
Yes.
camera is not disabled like yours is. Like you can press on the camera button. I can't. Like it's not disabled for some reason.
Which one? You mean the
Video camera.
Okay, it's not disabled, right?
It's not.
Do you have this code in the view did load?
Yeah, I copied it. Hold on, let me move this.
And make sure it's not. There's a exclamation mark in front of the U.
Oh, maybe that's why.
Yeah, because if we say this, what it says is if the source is available, just go ahead and disable it.
Yeah, now it's disabled.
All right, perfect. Cool.
Thank you.
All right. Anybody else? How we doing? All right, so we're able to get that part happening. Yes, sir.
I have an error with the delegate in the lazy var. It's saying I'm like a navigation.
Make sure in your protocol here that you conform into both. So you need to conform to the UI image picker delegate, and you need to conform to the UI image controller delegate.
Ah, okay. I was missing the navigation.
Because this one, you need to do both, yeah.
Cool, cool. Thank you.
Very good. It would be nice if that was just like a protocol itself, but that's what it is. Cool.
Alex?
Yes.
Yeah.
For mine, when I click on the video, the media movie, it doesn't print, but when I click on the image, it prints out.
When you click on the video,
and I do like click on it, and then click.
But does it dismiss?
No, and it does. When I click choose, it doesn't print out. It does not do the print statement.
But when you click choose, what happens?
Nothing.
Does it compress at all?
No.
It doesn't compress at all, but it is a video, right?
Yes.
It is a video. You click choose, nothing happens.
Yes.
Okay. Let's see. Resetting the simulator will delete the videos. That's a weird bug. So cancel out of here. So you have recents and you have videos, correct?
Yes.
I click on videos. I go to a video. You click on choose, right?
Yes, and nothing happened.
And it doesn't compress or anything.
Yeah.
All right, bear with us for a second. Right after the first break, I'll take a look at what's happening with you.
Okay.
But the images work, correct?
Yes.
All right, perfect. All right, cool. So we'll come back and I'll double check what's happening on your screen. Anybody else have a similar error happening on their end? Okay, so we have this Miz that works. What's the next part of this API we want to work on? Okay, for now, we have enough to actually work on the images part of this, which we can, and we're doing 13 minutes. And when we come back, we'll do the video part of it. But for now, if I add an image, I wanted to add it as an object, and I wanted to add it to my collection view. So a couple of things we need to do. Let's go to the top of our view controller. Our view controller now has data. So in the top of my view controller, right below our images lazy property here, I'll create a private variable. I'll call it media objects. And media objects is an array of media object. And here we'll have a didset property observer. Again, this is known as a property observer. Observes for changes on the property, like when it sets, when it gets set, it just gets called. Here I will simply say collection view dot reload data. So this is one thing. I have an array. This array will be the array for our collection view. Other things we need to do. Can I go down?
Yep.
All right, cool. Always looking for at least one volunteer just to signal to us we're good. Right away, we have 20 here. We don't want to return a hard code number anymore. We'll return media objects that count. Good. For the cell for now, we don't have a custom cell yet. That's fine for now. We'll create that later. So that's fine. But here, when I get a selected item from the user, what do I want to do? Well, first, let's start off with a switch statement. We could refactor that later, but for now, we'll have a switch on our media type, and we'll have a case on public.video. Let's just do image first. So if it's an image, go ahead and do some logic. And if it is a movie, go ahead and do a different set of logic. Else we'll have a default here, and we'll simply print unsupported media type. Okay, so we don't need this. Actually, I'll keep that for us to see. We'll keep this here and clean that up. So one of those two things will happen. If it's an image, great. What do we want to do? We want to say if let original image equal to our dictionary. Access the key UI image picker controller dot info key. What are we accessing here? So we have the 3 keys today. Which key are we accessing here?
Original image.
Original image. Thank you. And what are we casting this to? Here we casted this one to a string. So this one is what type? Original images of what type?
A string.
Original image in that case is of type UI image. Media type is of type string. And URL is of type URL. So those are the types we're after here. Original image is the image itself, so we cast it to a UI image. That's what we expect. Media type, we did here, we cast it to a string, and the URL is we casting it to a URL later. So original image info here, we'll say we cast it to a UI image. So if we do a string, it's gonna fail silently here. And if we just go to the else statement, if we do have an else statement. Does that make sense? Hello?
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Always looking for one volunteer. Original image is good. We have original image here. Now we could do some logic with the original image. We could do things like create a media object. Oh, we need data. We need data. I'm telling you, so many things for an app. We have the original image, that's great, but we want to convert it to a data object. How do we do that? So right after our UI image here, I'll put a comma. Right after UI image, I'll put a comma. And I'll say let image data equal to, what data do we want? Original image dot JPEG. So here we want to convert image to data. So we could use PNG or we could use JPEG. Here we're going to use JPEG and we'll compress it to full compression or full quality rather, compressed quality, 100%. And now we have image data. Why do we need image data? Because now we're about to create an object that needs image data or video URL. So image data, we'll say image data here. Video URL, we'll pass a nil. String for caption, we'll pass a nil. So right now we have a media object that we created. We have our struct here, media object. This is our media object here. And now we got created the ID, the date, and the image data. So now we have a full object ready for use. Well, we have an array. So we could say media objects.append. Append this new object to the array. So media object. So now if my array was 0, my array now is going to be 1. Does that make sense? Everybody? Yeah. And then, very good. And when I say it's 1, what happens to our collection view?
Reloads.
It's going to reload because?
The date set.
Because of the date set. Very good. Any questions before we test this?
Can you leave that on screen for a second? I had to walk away from the.
We probably want to take. We'll refactor stuff later. This is okay. This is going to put us in a good place for our first break, our second break, because we'll be able to test this. It's going to populate the collection view. Yes, we still have to do more things in the cell, like configure cell and stuff like that. But it should at least from 0 items in my collection view, it should now have like 1, for example, and 2 as we add things. So it only will do images for now. We haven't handled movies yet. But for now, we're just testing images. So that takes us back to like our photo journal or whatever, or Instagram app we did. All right, so let's run it and see how we're doing. So if I click on my photo library, I bring up my photos, I go to recent photos, I click on a photo, I have 1 object. Everybody with me? Does everybody have at least 1 object right now in their collection view?
Testing it right now.
Testing it right now. Very good. Whoever is able to do it, just confirm that you were able to get at least an object populating in your collection view.
I don't have any.
Again, the test is you don't have any. Make sure that your switch statement public.image here, because if I say public image like this, then that's going to fail. And that's not going to see this. All right, so public.image. Was anybody able to get it?
No.
Yes. Got it.
I got
Yeah.
confirmations and I got still working on it. So the people that have the errors, can I hear from somebody? What's happening? Oh, I thought I heard somebody said no. Oh, we were all able to get it, correct? Confirmation, yes?
Yep.
All right.
So mine doesn't actually appear as an image.
Well, it's not an.
Oh, right. Never mind. Got
Yeah,
it.
it's still like we haven't added the logic for that yet.
Yeah.
Yeah. But at minimum, you should have like one cell, and then if I add more images, I'll have more cells. Image. If I take a photo, it's not gonna work. So
Did we have to add something, or when you run it, it's supposed to just have it?
It's just supposed to have it. There's nothing else we have to run. Because what happens is
Add something, or is it from when we clicked an image before?
when I go to the photo library and I select an image, like
I'm
I
talking
select,
about when it first loads onto the.
when you first load, it should be empty.
Okay, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. When it first loads, it's empty because we have no persistence yet.
Okay.
And also, yeah, it should be empty because now it queries the data source. It queries the data source for media objects, and the count is 0 when it first loads. But as we add items in, then it starts populating.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay, makes sense now.
All right, perfect. Okay, this is a good place to stop. I could take any questions if there's any questions, so anybody is not in a working state. I think there was one person, right?
In the last 2 minutes, I had to restart my computer.
Say that again, Christian.
Did you add anything in the last 2 minutes? I had to restart my computer.
You had to restart the computer. The last 2 minutes. So, are you able to see objects in your collection view?
I'm running it right now.
It should be empty the first time you run it.
It is empty. Yes.
Okay. And now, if you go to the photo library,
try to add something.
Try to add something.
So now I have the default image.
Yep,
but not
that's
the image.
Yep, that's all we have.
Okay.
That's all we have because now we have to
Yeah,
do
the
more
image
work. Was
yeah,
that
the image of like the video, right?
Yep,
The
the
video.
placeholder image.
Okay.
Yeah, because we have more logic to do. Because right now our cell for row doesn't have anything in there, right? So if we go to cell, our cell for row doesn't do anything right now, as far as like configuring the cell. So after lunch, what we're gonna do, we'll come in here, and we'll well, a bunch of things we have to do. We have the cell already, which is good, but basically just write configure cell in the media cell class, and then we'll be able to pass a media object, and we'll configure it, and then we should be good there. Cool.